Hey guys, Redrix here. Hope all of you are doing well and having a splendid day. Redrix here bringing you a brand new video talking about Season 23. Now obviously I know you guys are about to say, Redrix, why are you making a video on Season 23? We're still in Season 22. And obviously I know that it's about a month and a half until Season 23 will launch, but with the season finale, with the narrative, there's not going to be a lot of huge things happening. If you still want to count Festival Lost, that's on you, pal, but Festival Lost in my mind isn't something I count. There really isn't anything too huge, so I want to look ahead into the next big drop before the final shape, because Season 23 is the ending season, the last season of Year 6, right before the much anticipated final shape expansion, and we have to go through that season in order to get into the final shape. So one of the big things I wanted to talk about with this season is that it's going to be probably the biggest building block in terms of the narrative. Obviously Bungie has stated out that Season 23 will also focus hugely on the core activities and the economy changes right before the final shape, being the sort of expansion, the preamble into the final shape. But I want to also say that with every season right before the expansion, like Season of the Lost, Season of the Seraph, it's really going to focus a lot on the narrative. With this last season, Season of the Witch, we really saw a huge narrative focus happen with Savathun, with Eris, with Zedo Arath, and we are going to see a lot more characters and a huge more narrative going into Season 23. Apparently with the narrative, it looks like we already know, or vaguely know, what our way into the portal to the Pale Heart is, and we just have to wait until time will tell. Now I made a video talking about the narrative and maybe some leaks and speculation on it. If you want to click on that video, it'll be right up on screen. But more than that, we're going to talk more on the changes that Season 23 will offer, starting with the one I just said, a brand new story. And with that story, a brand new season pass, seasonal activities, armor, weapons. There will be 2 new exotics. Actually, my bad, because I'm going and recording this, there will be, it looks like, maybe 3 new exotics. Bungie usually goes through a format of the 4 seasons and adds 2 to 3 exotics. With this season, we saw Necrochasm and we saw that amazing Hive Boomer exotic. It looks like this upcoming season, in Season 23, we are obviously getting a Season Pass exotic, we're getting a exotic exclusively to the dungeon, and if they follow the format from last year, we might be getting another exotic mission. Now, the last sort of exotic mission we got was in Season of the Deep with the Wicked Implement, but it's not necessarily counted as an exotic mission, as it's only a bit of a secret little new passageway from the seasonal activity. And so, therefore, we can count as that Bungie usually makes 2 new exotic missions every year, making Season 23 look like to be getting the next exotic mission. So a whole new exotic will be happening if everything goes as accordingly. So looking at that from a bigger picture, we also have a brand new dungeon that will be launching in the first Friday of the season. And to me, I love dungeons more than raids because I feel like you can play a lot of dungeons a lot more times than playing raids, because sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I kind of get burned out of playing the same raid countless times every week. But dungeons, you can go in maybe an hour or 2 or even less if you're really good at that dungeon, and you can play it and you can keep on doing it, because I feel like you'll get less burnout of that dungeon. And of course the solo flawless attempts are also amazing, and I love those new emblems. So with Season 23, we are getting a brand new dungeon with, of course, an exclusive seal and exotic weapon. Time will tell to what will that be. Personally, I'm hoping for a Taken dungeon. Again, like maybe a new, sort of Shattered Throne type deal. Who knows? So time will tell. Now let's go on to some of the new things. Again, I said a bit earlier in the video that there will be a huge focus on the core activities. Bungie looks like to be revamping some old strikes like the Inverted Spire and some other things with maybe Gambit and the Crucible. Obviously, we haven't really heard of any huge Gambit changes happening in the final shape. Rest in peace. RIP. But we did see that in the last time Joe Blackfrom spoke to us in the public, just from a 15-minute unscripted video, that there is a PvP strike team, and of course they will also be focusing on strikes as well. So we have the PvP side of things and the PvE side of things getting sort of a huge focus in this upcoming season. So if you do see the narrative maybe not being as big as Season 22 in terms of a week 7 story, it could be maybe only 6 or 5 weeks, and maybe they're going to focus more attention on towards the core activities, but again, time will tell, because I know Bungie has been working hard on this. Moreover, the Citadel PvP map will be returning from Forsaken. Yes, so obviously this season we got a brand new Vex PvP map. Next season we are getting the Citadel PvP map returning, which is amazing. I can't wait to have that map come back. It was really an awesome map for just, you know, normal casual PvP players. Hope you guys are excited with that. Now, one of the biggest changes that we've been waiting for so long, of course, this season we got the exotic mission rotators, a huge quality of life change. This upcoming season, we are finally going to get the LFG Finder, the matchmaking feature that players have been waiting for so long that will allow players to queue up from anywhere within the game. No longer, or well, hopefully if you still want to, you can queue up at the Bungie website, but now everything that you could have done at the Bungie website, you can do inside the game, creating LFG posts with keywords to describe the type of players that you're looking for a group in the game. Leaders can also approve or deny joining the group, but you'll be able to jump straight into the action and will allow players to join automatically. No need to wait in orbit for so long waiting on people. It is going to be one of the biggest quality of life changes in the game. Bungie definitely needed this earlier than what we gotten, but I'm glad that, you know, hopefully Bungie delayed this all the way till now to make it one of the best quality of life changes in the game. Can't wait to see it next season. Now, one of the huge big things that I love with quality of life changes, and of course new things that they do, is that they go back and they look at some other things. With that being said, one of the biggest surprising changes that I've seen is that they're getting rid of legendary shards coming into the final shape. Now, I know a lot of you missed your legendary shards, adored it for the last couple of years, you know, grinding it all out, using it as that main source of currency for, of course, buying weapons, exotics, all that type of deal. So unfortunately, Bungie will be removing them, so it's best to spend them now while you still can. But starting in Season 23, all legendary costs from the Monument to Lost Lights will be removed, while Glimmer, Exotic Ciphers, and Spoils of Conquest will remain the same. For ritual gear focusing, legendary shard costs will be removed entirely, and non-adapt focusing will only have ritual engrams and glimmer costs. Focusing adept weapons will still require 7 wins in trial passages or in Nightfall completions. So looking at that from a big picture, now with Season 23 being, of course, the last drop before the final shape, expect a lot of those quality of life changes in the final shape to, of course, maybe start getting, you know, known to us earlier, so we prepare for that, being that one of them is legendary shards removing. So better to spend all your legendary shards while you still can, because they will be redundant in the final shape expansion, so please be sure to go and do that while you still can. One of the awesome things I love with Season 23 is a brand new catalyst. Bungie usually adds one new catalyst to returning weapons, and one of the biggest things I love is that they've been really focusing on exotic catalysts in the last year. With this season, we got Monte Carlo, which was an exotic catalyst that Bungie has explicitly stated that they've been putting a lot of time into over the last couple of months before Season of the Witch launched, and it basically made Monte Carlo into a, you know, a glaive for a certain time. And I gotta admit, guys, I went right into Season of the Witch and I wanted to get that. Monte Carlo was one of those exotics that I just needed to have the catalyst. So to finally find out that in Season 23, Thorn, the exotic hand cannon that everyone knows, the famous exotic hand cannon, will be getting a catalyst. Holy crap, guys, I am so hyped. Now, this will be just awarded from completing Crucible, Strikes, or Gambit, basically an RNG chance, but what does it do? Well, it grants bonus range and stability, and dealing a final blow or absorbing a remnant grants additional increased weapon range, as well as increased mobility and handle for a short time. Oh my gosh, guys. Thorn Catalyst is finally happening. I know a couple of years ago you guys were like, Lumina got a Catalyst, but Thorn and Last Word haven't got one. When is Bungie gonna do it? So finally, Thorn will be getting one, and hopefully Bungie does the same amount of love that they did to Monte Carlo for Thorn to get it to be a dope weapon again that a lot of people start to use more often than not. So hope Bungie goes well with that. But obviously I will link some things down in the description to, of course, expand on these, but these are some of the big things that you're going to expect with Season 23. Obviously, Bungie is going to focus a lot of attention on Final Shape, as I believe Season 23 right now is completed. They usually say when the latest season starts, the next season is basically complete. So right now it looks like they're focusing all their energy, hopefully, on the Final Shape now that Season 23 is done. But this will be launching on November 28th, I believe, so not that long now until then. So hope you guys are hyped for this season. Let me know your guys' thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.